Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. How are y'all doing? So there's something that's confusing me, right? You know the Back to Africa movement with black people in the diaspora and in the States coming back home. I know Ghana specifically, I can only speak for my own country, I don't know about anyone else, but I know Ghana specifically, our government has dedicated a certain amount of land for people who are coming back home, right, to come and settle and build their own houses, if they want to build schools, whatever, start farms, start life as an African. A lot of other West African countries might be doing it, but I only know of Ghana so far, who've really gone out there and put it out there that, look, home is here for you guys when you really come home. But there's something that has confused me. In a sense, I'm going to have to use the word confused, but this thing of African Americans taking African names, right? Why is it that you guys, okay, let me just speak directly to you guys. How come you guys don't research properly before you take these names? Good and fine, I know about Ebonics and how you've had to form your own language to cope with the system and life living in America, right? But don't you think it's best that you guys do some proper research to find out who you are? Because remember that the slaves, the majority of the slaves, if not 100% of the slaves, were taken from the western coast of Africa, all right? So that's the whole of the top of West Africa all the way down into about Angola. Prior to that, a few slaves were taken from, well, not a few 100,000, point of correction, were taken from East Africa, Zanzibar to be specific. So there are a few East African tribes that were taken as slaves. But those were mostly taken to the Arab lands, right? And through mingling and them dying out, there's a very thin bloodline of those East African slaves that still exist today. So the majority of you guys whose ancestors were taken as slaves into the Americas are mostly West Africans, right? It's been proven, for example, that the majority of Jamaica is Ghana. It's Ghanaians, okay? So what I want to know is this. Before you take names and stuff, why don't you go and research it? Don't just accept what the white man has told you that, Africa was one big jungle with all the tribes fighting each other and hating on each other and killing each other and stuff like that. Why don't you research it for yourself? The names that you take, I have found a lot of so-called Black Americans / African Americans with names like Tandiswa, which is a South African name. Names like, gosh, what examples can I think? Names like Sibongile, some of them have even taken. They give themselves names like, oh, my name is so-and-so Shaka Zulu. Really, guys? These days, things like DNA testing is available to you. Now, good and fine, not everybody can afford that. And I can understand that, you have better things to spend your money on. You have more important things to spend your money on, like staying alive, like food, like rent, etc., etc. But if you don't know your history and know it properly, you act confused. And you guys are acting super, super confused. Taking names that don't even belong to any tribe, even closely related to who your ancestors really were. Surely you should know that take a map, right? And look at the western coast of Africa. If you can't go for the DNA testing and you can't prove that I came from this particular country or the majority of my bloodline, 60%, 40%, 18% came from Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, wherever, right? Senegal. Even if you can't prove that, take names from those regions. Research how to pronounce the name in the first place, what the name means in the second place, and name yourselves appropriately. I'm all for you renaming yourselves and renaming your culture. But then go a step further and try and learn an African language, that particular African language from your tribe, or a tribe closely related to the people that you came from. I don't see the point of you guys taking names from South Africa when, number one, you can't even pronounce the name. Number two, you don't know what it means. Number three, those people weren't even your people. None of you are from South Africa. None of you are from the southern region of Africa. So why don't you do your homework properly, research properly, and then start acting right? Africa is not one big place. It's not one big jungle like you were made to believe. How many different countries do we have in Africa? It's a whole continent. There's so many different countries. Know where you came from, where your people were taken from, where your ancestors were stolen from, and name yourselves accordingly, according to those regions. I just feel like it made so much more sense Then you guys running around all wishy-washy, just taking any old name because you've heard of Shaka Zulu. Oh, suddenly I am so-and-so Zulu. But you know nothing about the Zulu people. None of your people have anything even closely related or closely similar to the Zulu tribe. Come on, guys, man. Wake up. Do things properly. Good and fine. I understand that you're a lost tribe and you've lost your culture and through no fault of your own. Right? I'm not blaming you for any of that. But do it properly. Do it properly. Name yourselves accordingly. Get the pronunciation right. Because when you're going to go and just take a new name for yourself and you're going out there and you're like, oh, I'm so-and-so, and you mispronounce the name, already people are laughing at you. They're like, this one's lost. This one lacks discipline. This one is confused. They don't know who they are. Because that's how it looks. That's how it comes across. So search properly, research properly, educate yourself first before you go and assimilate an African name. When you do it the wrong way, it's insulting to us, the Africans who've never left the shores of home. So do it properly, y'all. Learn better and do better. It's good for you, it's good for us. Then you can really be an African, not a pseudo-African, which is what the white man really wants you to be. Think about it. I know this message is going to piss some people off big time, but yo, I'm here to speak the truth. So, whoops, there it is. Have a nice day. Be good, y'all, or be good at it. Bye for now.